It's been a while since we've seen a new Sequoia. I guess it goes hand in hand with the Toyota Tundra. And since we got a new generation of the Tundra last year, that means that this year we're getting a new third generation Toyota Sequoia. But is this new one good enough to take on the Chevy Tahoe or the GMC Yukon or the Ford Expedition? Let's go for a drive and find out. So because this new generation of the Sequoia is based on the new generation of the Toyota Tundra, it shares a lot of its components, including the 3.5-liter twin-turbocharged V6 engine. Despite the weight of this Sequoia, it really gets going whenever you put your foot down. The electric motor provides instant torque, as all electric motors do, and then the turbocharged V6 engine takes over and just provides gobs of power. It makes overtaking other vehicles super easy and simple. Plus, the 10-speed automatic transmission that this engine is paired with is smooth and pretty fast at reacting to a stab of the throttle. With this being a hybrid, fuel economy is better than the old V8. It's officially rated at 12.6 liters per 100 kilometers in a city and 10.5 liters per 100 kilometers on a highway. However, getting those fuel economy numbers is really difficult. The best that I've been able to manage is about 14.5 liters per 100 kilometers. Still, definitely better than the old V8, but nowhere near what this truck is rated for, or SUV I should say is rated for. Actually, it is pretty much a truck. This hybrid system is more about providing power rather than fuel economy, so it doesn't work the same way as a Toyota Corolla hybrid or Toyota RAV4 hybrid work. When setting off from a stop, the engine is going to be providing the power. However, you can set off from a stop just on electricity, but you'll have to be extremely, and I reiterate that, extremely gentle on the throttle. Plus, you'll be going so slowly that a jogger can outpace you in this Sequoia. Realistically, the only time that you'll be driving on electricity is when you're maneuvering in a parking lot, going down a narrow alleyway, or when you're just maintaining a constant speed on city streets, I should say. On highways, the engine will shut off whenever you lift your foot off the throttle pedal and just coast. However, the electric motor is not powerful enough to actually maintain that speed, so you will be slowing down. I think that the electric motor only produces about 48 horsepower, if I remember correctly. So when you're doing 100 kilometers an hour or 62 miles an hour or higher, it just doesn't have enough power to maintain the speed. With this 2023 Toyota Sequoia being the TRD Pro off-road trim, it has a lot of goodies that will make wilderness trekking a walk in the park. It comes with 18-inch forged BBS wheels and all-terrain tires, a 1.1-inch front lift, 2.5-inch Fox internal bypass dampers, large diameter sway bars, TRD front skid plate, TRD grille with integrated light bar, TRD dual tip exhaust, and you guessed it, a bunch of TRD badges. In addition, it also has multi-terrain select, crawl control, a locking rear differential, and downhill assist control. The Sequoia is only available with four-wheel drive for the Canadian market, but it is available with two-wheel drive for the American market. Off the beaten path, the Fox dampers absorb the harshest ruts and bumps that you may drive over. But keep in mind that this is a large SUV, so you want to take it somewhere with a lot of wide open space. On paved roads, the SUV leans through corners a little bit more than the GMC Yukon AT4 that I test drove a couple of years ago. However, it can still change direction relatively quickly, and the direct but light steering makes it easy to maneuver on city streets. But this is still a physically massive SUV, and parking it can be a bit of a challenge in some parking lots. As for interior space in the new Toyota Sequoia, up here in the front seats, of course, you're going to have a lot of it. So I am above average in height at 6'4", and I fit very comfortably. Plenty of legroom, plenty of headroom. I can move the seat further back if I want to. I can further raise it and still have plenty of headroom. I also sit really high up, so I have excellent visibility out the front, side, and even out the back. Even if the third row seat headrests are up, I still have really good visibility. It's in the second row where things get odd. You can option the Sequoia with bench seats or captain's chairs, but unlike in other SUVs, the second row seats cannot slide forwards or backwards. They can just recline. Despite that, there is enough space in the second row for adults, even those that are as tall as myself at 6'4". The third row is stranger still. Getting into the back is easy thanks to the folding second row seats, but space there is very tight. You can make more space for your legs, however, by sliding the seats backwards. I don't think I've ever seen another SUV with sliding third row seats in recent memory. But even with the seats all the way back, it's still not as much space as you'd find in the GMC Yukon or Ford Expedition, and these are not the Yukon XL or Expedition Max that I'm talking about. Additionally, the floor is extremely high. It makes it feel as though your knees are right by your ears. It's not very comfortable. Space in the trunk is also very limited due to the high floor. Behind the third row, there's 326 liters to 631 liters of space depending on how far forward or back you move the third row seats. With the third row folded, electronically that is, there is 1,387 liters of space. But the third row seats do not fold into the floor. Instead, they just fold up on top of the floor, so they create a massive step. With the second and third rows folded, there's 2,460 liters of space. Again, all of these numbers are less than what the American brands can offer. Back here in the front, the interior looks like it's straight out of the Toyota Tundra, and that's because it is. So you're getting the same steering wheel, same driver display right in front of me, same infotainment touchscreen, 14 inches by the way, and same Toyota infotainment system, which does allow for wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. I haven't had any issues this time around with wireless Android Auto. It hasn't disconnected my phone. I haven't had any connectivity issues when I got into the truck, or SUV I should say, so it all works just fine. Underneath it, physical buttons and toggle switches for the climate, which I like very much. Big chunky shifter on the center console, and right below it is your drive mode, multi-terrain select, crawl control, and tow haul mode drive modes. All in all though, a pretty straightforward and simple to use interior. My only minor complaint about it is the use of gloss black right here on the center console and a little bit on the steering wheel, but it's not too much, and yes, it will show scratches and dust and fingerprints if you don't take care of it, like how this one is already showing, but if you do take care of it, it should be fine. And at least it's not all over the place on this dashboard. So again, all in all, simple, straightforward interior. Good job, Toyota. The 2023 Toyota Sequoia has a starting price that is considerably more expensive than the American rivals. It starts at $76,050 Canadian. Moving up to this TRD Pro trim will cost you $91,050 Canadian. The top capstone trim is $1,000 Canadian more, but that's as far as the price goes. But at least for the higher starting price, the Sequoia does come better equipped with more standard features. Some of these include heated front seats along with a heated steering wheel, 3-zone automatic climate control, power sunroof, 8-way power adjustable driver and passenger seats, hands-free power liftgates, an 8-inch infotainment display with wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto connectivity. Moving all the way up to the capstone trim, we'll add features such as heated and ventilated first and second row seats, that is, captain's chairs in the second row, a head-up display, surround view cameras, panoramic sunroof, a larger 14-inch infotainment touchscreen, wireless phone charging pad, power running boards, and a rear camera mirror. And finally, the 2023 Sequoia is equipped with standard Toyota Safety Sense 2.5, which includes forward collision alert with automatic emergency braking, pedestrian and cyclist detection, left turn oncoming vehicle detection with emergency braking, lane tracing assist, auto high beam, and adaptive cruise control. This trim of the SUV also comes with standard blind spot sensors, lane departure warning with lane keep, and rear cross traffic alert with braking. So, is the Toyota Sequoia worth getting over the American rivals? Well, first, let's take a look at the good stuff, starting with the engine. Very powerful and much more fuel efficient than the old V8. However, getting the rated fuel economy numbers is extremely difficult, so just be aware of that. Secondly, the suspension is really soft and comfortable, especially for something that has a solid rear axle. And also, I really like that interior. It's basically dummy-proof with the way that the controls are laid out. And at the end of the day, it is a Toyota, so it should be really reliable. However, the addition of twin turbocharging and hybrid powertrain, well, it is increasing the complexity compared to the old V8, so only time will tell just how reliable this new generation of the Sequoia is. On the flip side, the second and third rows are odd, to say the least. The fact that you can't slide the second row, but you can the third row, and the floor in the third row is so high up that it makes it feel like as though your knees are right by your ears. And that giant step in the trunk, it pretty much makes it useless. Plus, the starting price of this Sequoia is significantly higher than that of the American rivals. Granted, it does come with more features as standard, but if you don't need all those extra features and you just want a spacious cabin, this one falls short. And that's the whole point of big full-size SUVs. You want as much space as possible for the occupants and cargo in there, and this one just doesn't offer it. But if you are a fan of Toyotas and you're okay with the higher price, and if you don't really need that much space, or you're okay with how much space this one offers, then I think that you will be pretty happy with the new generation of the Sequoia. If you'd like to know more about this demo vehicle, I wrote a more detailed review of it over on my website. You can find that link in the video description or click on the pop-up banner right up there. And as always, I will see you in the next car or truck or most likely another SUV. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and see you next time.